Ryan Newman came down and everybody behind piles up.
I saw a lot of rear tire spin on that restart. I think a lot of guys were struggling with grip and they just started losing control.
Three drivers made it out in front unscathed: Hamlin, Almirola, and Blaney. So you're going to watch Ryan Newman on this replay as we try to figure out what happened. He's the second car on the outside.
Maybe it could have been contact. Could have been contact from the 24 and that nose on that Camaro of William Byron as he gets to the rear bumper of Ryan Newman.
And it looked like he had been hit by the 4 of Kevin Harvick, which may have sent him into Newman.
Now he was already, you could see William Byron was already out of shape as Kevin Harvick made contact with the 24. Boy, it wasn't much. It's interesting how, you know, he touches the 6, he starts spinning the wheels, losing control. Then the 24 starts losing control and gets hit. I don't even know if he got hit. I think he just lost it.
Spun the tires?
Yeah, I think when he made a little contact with the 6, then he jumped in the gas and started losing the rear grip and spinning the rear tires.
You're in a pack like this, especially when you're a rookie. Oh, there it goes! In the middle.
Oh, no.
Lost away self and upside down is the 45 of Majeski.
Let's hope he gets back on his tires here.
That thing's square on the roof. What a shame. That time Majeski and his truck comes to a stop.
You just know with all that movement.
As we go back to the highlights.
A push is probably the beginning, and yes, there it is. Todd Gilliland in back of the...
That's Fogelman in the 0-2, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then, man, he just... Majeski just turned sideways down the front, and it just tipped right over. NASCAR does so much work in the wind tunnel to have flaps, air flaps, different panels on the truck that blow away that is supposed to prevent that. But
bumping through the tri-oval here is the sketchiest place to do it. And you see that big set that you saw, that white truck.
Textbook by Denny Hamlin. Can he put the block on? Oh, car. Oh, 77.
Right behind you.
That was Ross Chastain. Got down on the apron, turned him sideways up the racetrack.
Straight into Ryan Preece.
And we have involved.
Another multi-car pileup. With 2 to go, we'll go to overtime. There's the Connecticut Kids car.
Joey Logano.
Logano's got a flat left rear and trouble on the right front. Ty Dillon stuck in the grass, no rear deck lid or spoiler.
Well, that was a big hit by Ross Chastain.
He wants to make it around to pit road to load the car.
Yeah, I believe so.
And Ryan Preece, that car won't steer, it's against the wall. Now Almirola, that's prior damage. He just got back out there, and maybe a little current damage. Watch 77 right here.
Well, and I knew those cars were going to stall out. You can see right there, Ryan Preece sort of pushes Chastain down onto the apron. As soon as it gets down the apron, he loses control. And heavy, heavy impact to the 22 of Logano from Chastain. Car goes sideways. He tries to correct. You know, those kinds of impacts for Logano, it might not look as big of an impact as what we see some of these other cars because of the damage, but when you get right into the driver's side door and then the passenger side door goes in the wall, those hurt.
That almost looks, Jeff, like the right rear went down with all those sparks and the car just took off.
I think the car, once he came up on the apron, the car just got a little sideways. He tried to correct and it caught the banking and shot the nose over.
think Michael McDowell made it through with minimal damage.
Ouch. See Christopher Bell go by with some damage.
Let's ride with him and our Toyota Cam.
Ooh. Just nowhere to go.
And we'll ride with Ross Chastain.
He had such a run. You really, at this stage in the race, you have no choice. You just can't lift. And there was only a half a car width of room there, and he tried to take it.
He's made it to pit road. As the field circulates under yellow, teams are allowed to work on the car.
Careful getting too far out there and letting a big run come. And now as long as they're side by side, he's good. But here comes Newman. Big run. Denny put the block on him. Great job not causing a wreck on that block.
White flag under green. Next flag will end the race, and Newman is there.
Newman's got locked onto his rear bumper just like he did. Oh, wrecking behind Chase Elliott around.
Spinning around,
No
still
caution
green.
yet.
Still green.
Still green, and here they come.
And here comes Blaney.
Ryan Blaney up behind Ryan Newman, trying to get him to Hamlin.
Newman backed up to Blaney. Big run coming here.
To the inside, Newman to the front.
Nothing Denny Hamlin could do. What can Ryan Blaney now do? Here comes a push from Denny Hamlin. Oh, this thing's not over yet. Not at all.
Ryan Newman off turn 4 for the final time. Blaney to the outside, to the inside. Here comes Hamlin up the outside.
Wow.
Crash into the wall, into the air goes Newman.
Upside down.
In a shower of sparks on his roof, Ryan Newman comes across the line, 4th. And comes to rest. Scoring unofficial between Hamlin and Blaney as far as who crossed the finish line first. Newman got turned, went up in the air. As he came down, was hit by another car and launched skyward, coming down on his roof. The AMR safety team is there quickly to attend to Ryan Newman. A fist pump from Denny Hamlin, who has won the Daytona 500 for the 2nd year in a row.
And the 3rd time overall.
Our scoring monitor gives us interval to 1/100th of a second. It was closer than that.
Here's the big one. Man.
Well, there goes half the field.
Sure does.
And it's Ryan Newman leading them around. Oh,
Jimmy Johnson's hopes in his final Daytona 500.
Kurt Busch, another former Daytona 500 winner. Brad Keselowski trying to win it for the first time, all torn up. Bubba Wallace, Eric Almirola, one of the fastest Fords in this entire field. And here's Martin Truex, who couldn't get back to the lead pack and gets all torn up. Smoke out the exhaust pipe.
That's not a tire problem for the 18 of Kyle Busch.
We are, of course, under caution with 15 to go. Watch the outside line here, Jeff.
You can see Joey Logano really aggressive to the rear bumper of the 10. He's going to push him all the way up to the 2. And they just, right before the 10 gets there, there's a little bit of movement. And that little bit of movement, when you make that much contact, turns your car right around. That's exactly what happened to Brad Keselowski and the 10 of Almirola.
And that happens right in front of most of the field.
And that really all started with a big push from Joey Logano. Remember Joey Logano talking on the radio earlier about, you got to tell me when I'm pushing that car and it's going to make contact with the car in front of us. Well, that happened right there with his teammate.
Here's our Ford onboard camera with Logano.
You could hear he started to lift, but unfortunately Almirola's car started sort of swaying back and forth right before he made contact with the 2. Hooks his bumper, turns him around.
Oh, he slammed Alex Bowman. And then it's on. And for the second time in less than a handful of years, Aric Almirola ends up being knocked out of a good chance to win the Daytona 500.
Well, here on board with Austin Dillon. He even downshifted, trying to get that car slowed down enough to avoid this accident.
Riding with Jimmy Johnson, our Chevy cam.
Ooh. Just gets slammed. One of the cars loses control. I think that was Mark Truex Jr. Came down, made heavy contact with Jimmy on the right side.
Was it a question of if or a question of when?
The green flag flies once again. Haley, not a great restart here as Ryan C gets off to a good start, and now they're 4 wide going into 1.
That's it.
Oh, and around goes the 7, hard into the outside wall.
Buddy, hang on, hang on.
On the apron, the 21 of Anthony Alfredo was into the wall hard. He's upside down, sliding through 1 and 2. Looks like the 18 back there of Riley Herbst also involved. AMR safety crew will get to Anthony Alfredo quickly here. This will bring out a red flag as they will work to get Anthony out of the car.
But 2 or 3 rows back, that 7 of Justin Allgaier gets a big run, goes to the apron. Next thing we know, we're 4 wide on the apron, Jeff.
Yeah, everybody's got to go. Everybody has tires trying to get in track position, and Allgaier was just on the apron, entered the corner on the apron, and ended up getting up into the side of the 21.
Yeah, he ran out of, I mean, at some point, you have to make the corner. The corner has the banking. There were so many cars above him, he couldn't get up on the banking. It looked like he lost control. Take another look at it. Focus on that bright red or orange number 7 back here. That's kind of where the whole thing starts.
And normally you think you're going to get down here, you're going to slide up into the racetrack, but he just never had a chance to. Allgaier just kind of, I think, needed to give that spot up, get out of the throttle, but knowing there's a race win, if you can make it work, maybe ahead of you, just chose to stay in the gas.
And look at this car. It gets up on its side. It's sliding. You know, these cars have roof flaps that design them to stay on the ground when you see a high-speed rollover at, say, a restrictor plate track. But here, that wasn't really an aerodynamic thing. The cars aren't going at top speed on this restart. That's just the force of this car hitting that outside wall, throws it up into the air, and then, Jeff, as we saw, it slides to a stop on its roof.
Yeah, there was another car involved in this, too, that got him up and upside down when he did hit the wall. Take another look. Here's the 18 of Riley Herbst. He gets into him.
Both of those young drivers are having good nights tonight.
And when you see a car gets upside down, Jeff, it takes me back to the technology we don't talk about so much. From a 5-point to a 6-point to a 7-point seatbelt harness. All of those points that are added are down around your hips and legs for this reason, to keep a driver pulled straight down in the seat so they don't go up when a car gets upside down.
That's a big impact. I mean, obviously it's dramatic when he rolls over, but as you said, Steve, the impact is what rolled him over. The advancement inside these race cars seats, the limit of the movement of the driver is so important. The belts you just spoke about, the seat technology, the head surrounds, the Hans system, all of those things designed to limit mobility, to keep everything intact with the driver.